But the Daleks and Time Lords scream in vain, too far away to stop him now. And so the Doctor stands alone. He looks out from his eyrie, across the wreckage of 1,000 worlds. Below him, fragments of the Time War, broken reefs of Gallifrey and Skaro washed up into this backwater to rot. His creaking wooden platform shivers with ice, a mile high, atop fragments of Morbius's red capital, its vile towers fused into black, friable spires of Yarveldling's church. And yet, the Doctor can see glimpses of Earth. The planet had been replicated 1,000,000 times to become the bullets fired into the Nightmare Child's skull, and now splinters of human society have gouged themselves on the wasteland below. Relics of Mumbai, shards of Manhattan, a satire of old London town. Remnants of better days. The Doctor looks down. Her skeleton lies at his feet. The bones relax into dust, and she is gone. The Doctor looks up. In front of him, at the edge of the platform, a brass handle, mounted into a simple oak casement. The only remaining extrusion of the moment in this world, the rest of its vast bulk hidden, chained to an N form, churning behind the dimensional wall, screaming to be used. He steps forward. He grips the handle. He wonders what his last words should be. He decides that last words are meaningless. He pulls the handle down flat. The moment happens. The universe sings. The war ends. Surrounded by brightness, the Doctor sees the sky above parting to reveal, just as Betan and the Deathsmiths of Goth had predicted, the final event. Gallifrey Original convulses and rolls into flame. Its concentric rings of Dalek warships become silhouettes, then ashes, and then the Doctor falls. Every atom around him is sucked upwards towards the fire, but he alone is capable of falling, saved or damned by the moment's shadow. Above him, he feels the time lock solidify, sealing off the war from reality as his body tumbles out of existence into plasma space, then foul space, then beyond. The Doctor leans into the fall, head first, arms wide, diving into infinity, alone. Except there, something else, falling, spinning, a whirl of blue. That faithful blue, then a rectangle of white, widening, a doorway coming closer towards him as the grind of ancient engines reaches a crescendo. He thinks, I'm going home. The Doctor lies on the TARDIS floor, his bones broken from the fall, his heart hollowed by his loss. Around him the console room buckles, warps, shudders, still suffering from the High Council's resurrection of the Master long ago. It aches for a new shape. Me too, mutters the Doctor with a grim smile, though he knows regeneration is impossible. The moment has fixed his existence, and this life is his last. He wonders what age he's finally reached. The Time War used years as ammunition. At the Battle of Rodan's Wedding alone, he'd aged to 5 million and then regressed to a mewling babe merely from shrapnel. Now the ache in his bones feels 1,000 years old? Well, call it 900. Sounds better. Darkness swills through his mind and he forces a smile. Ready, yet never ready for the end. Still, no final words. But then, he feels it once more, that old, deep stirring in every bone and muscle and thought, the joy, the terror, the change, the impossible change. Amazed, he lifts up his hand, stares fascinated as the skin ripples with a curious new gold. Of course, she tricked him right at the end. Her final kiss was not a goodbye. She'd imprinted the restoration within him. His life cycle had been reset, a new man, lurching outwards to be born. So this was the meaning of her final song. Whole new body to expiate the guilt. He might even pass the restoration on to another. One day, suddenly they come. In a rush, his final words. He says them out loud. But there is no one to hear, allowing them to be imagined and imagined again. Forever. Then his nuclei turns into stars. Every pore blazes with light. A volcano of thick, viscous energy. Cannons from his neck, his hands, his feet, his guts, his heart, his soul. It stops. The Doctor sits up. The new Doctor. Next Doctor. Now Doctor. He lifts up his fingers to touch his new head. His new chin, his new nose, new ears. He takes a deep breath into his new, dry, wide lungs. He says his first word.
Blimey.